Hey everybody, this is Heather. I'm doing another video for BC PAX called PA Days. Today's video is PA Kit. Um, Before I go on to on-set speak, etiquette, how to answer calls, telling or explaining what we do as a PA on set, um, I thought it'd be nice to know what is needed on set. What does a PA need in their kit or their bag? Um, I came from the world of theater where everybody, no matter what crew or what department you're in, you needed to have a kit of some sort. And you need to have the basic tools. So let's jump into the tools and what are in it. Da 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 da. PA kit. Um, the bare basics of a PA kit are one of three items, two of which are provided. The third you have to bring to the table. Um, so the first thing that's going to be provided is this thing here. Sorry, I had to figure out where my transition button was. Is a high vis vest. This basically allows for us to be seen on set, especially when we're in locations where we deal a lot with the public. If people or the public do not see us with this vest on and they start wandering, meandering onto set, we're the ones that get in trouble. So with this vest, it basically tells people that, hey, there's something that's going on, there's something happening. And then we politely tell the public, hey, hold on a second, we're just filming a shot. If you give us a few moments here, once the shot's finished, we'll let you go. And that's basically what it is. The vest also makes sure that crew members see us as well, so that if they have questions, they can come to us and we can point them in the right direction. Where's the shuttle? Shuttle's over there. Where's the washrooms? Washrooms are over there. That kind of deal, right? It basically highlights us. The other thing that is shown, not shown rather, the other thing that's given to us on set is one of these. Our walkie-talkies are our life. It is our communication. It is our link to everybody. It is how we keep informed. So make sure that when you get onto a set that you get one of these two things, or at least make sure that you get a walkie, or else you're not going to have any idea what's going on. You're not going to know if we're rolling, we're cutting, we're resetting, or if you are being called personally, hey, can you, person, come and bring this to us at this location. Otherwise, this is the basics. These are what you need. The thing that you need to bring that isn't provided is an attitude. And I mean a good attitude, not this attitude, but a fantastic attitude. Make sure you're smiling. Make sure you're happy. Make sure that you are there, you are present. There's nothing worse than having a PA show up on site in a position mentally that they shouldn't be there to work, or they don't want to be there to work. Attitude is a big thing. It means that with a good attitude, you will be brought back. You will be called back to, hey, you want more days, and that's what you want. You want more work. So make sure you bring that great, fantastic attitude, and bring a smile, because you never know when your smile may brighten someone's day. Beyond that, that is basically the basic PA kit. You can show up with pretty much nothing. You get those two items, you bring your third one with you, and you're golden. However, that is not always the case. When we look at PAs, or if you've ever been to a film set, or if you've seen crew members run around, they're always carrying something. They always have something on their belt. They're always carrying a backpack, especially the PAs. PAs always carry a backpack, and that's the first thing that I'm going to mention. You need to be able to carry your kit. You're not going to have a toolbox. You can't bring a toolbox with you. A backpack is handy because you can sling it on your back, and you can keep your hands free to help move plywood, help move Duradeck, help move tables, set up tents. It's handy. So in which case, make sure that you get a backpack that will withstand the rigors of life. You don't want your bag to tear and then you're stuck with a backpack that no longer will hold anything. The backpack that I have personally, I go through many different bags, mainly because for me, it's a day-to-day situation. Am I going to be outside? Am I going to be out in the rain? Am I going to be inside? Am I going to be on set in a small confined space? Am I going to be at a circus lockup? It's all dependent on where I'm going to be. Sometimes I'm not going to know until I get there, but I have a general idea as to where I'm going to be, because your ALM, when they send you the schedule, should tell you what you're going to be doing. And it may change throughout the course of the day, but always carry a bag of some sort with you. And the bag that I have and that most often people see me with, is one of these. This is a military style bag because of my military background. I like to keep things kind of close to my heart, and bags like these are useful for the front panel itself because you can attach pens there for easy access. You can attach rope there. You can pretty much attach anything to the front of these things. You can tie things off. It's just that useful. Like most backpacks, there are two areas. You got your main pouch, and then you got your secondary pouch. Just make sure your bag is strong enough to handle. Make sure your bag is big enough to stuff your jacket in if it gets too warm, if you're suddenly inside. Or make sure that your bag is big enough that you can put a change of spare clothes into your bag in case you suddenly get hyper wet and you need to change it to dry clothing. Don't carry like a small, tiny, dinky bag because it may not help you. Just make sure that you are prepared for anything and everything. If I know they're going to be inside, this is an example of having different bags. If I know I'm going to be inside close to set, and I know that I don't need to carry too much, you'll see PAs with small waist pouches. I like to make sure that I have the same sort of functionality as my backpack and being able to provide more. So I have a butt pack actually, and this basically sits with me and it carries anything and everything that I need, just on a smaller scale. When we mention vests, sometimes productions are unable to provide high vis vests, and while it is mandatory, sometimes productions just don't have enough vests to go around. So you might find yourself in a position where you may be a PA without a vest. Always carry a vest yourself. Go out, buy one. They range anywhere between $19 all the way up to the higher end ones. I myself, my vest is combined for functionality as well as being seen. And the reason I say that is because, and I've been commented on this before on sets, that not a lot of people see PAs like myself, mainly because of my background and because I have a vest like this. This vest is kind of I shouldn't say kind of, it is a military style vest. I have everything that I need on the front here. I have tags on the front and the back, as well as high-vis stripping that makes me visible to the public. The reason why I have these specified tags is so that I am not confused for a construction number, and that when the public see me, they see me as an actual film crew person. These tags are sadly, they're not mass produced. You actually have to get them custom made. But I do it so that crew realizes I am a film crew member as well, and the public see me as a film crew member as well. But like I said before, I have a bunch of things that are attached to my vest. I've got my pens, I've got my tapes, I've got rubber bands, I've got a bunch of stuff that just by itself, I've had people ask me if they can have or use any of it. You don't have to have a vest like that. Most people are happy with just a standard high-vis vest. I like to go for functionality, but you know that's what you can do. So long as it's high-vis and people can see you. The next thing that you should have in your kit is a pair of gloves. And the reason why I say this is because when you are done a day, and if you have to wrap out a set, sometimes you have to pick up things called Duradeck or plywood. Sometimes those things will be encaped in mud, and then you'll be forced to pick it up with ungloved hands. You may slip, you may end up cutting your hands, you may get slivers. Always carry a pair of gloves. You can get nitrile dipped gloves, or rubber dipped gloves, pretty much anywhere for cheap. Some people like to have mechanics gloves. Some people like to have leather gloves, the leather palmed ones meant for like construction and so forth. Mine are leather palm gloves, and I've got a pair of liners to go in it so that my hands stay warm, but my hands also stay protected too. They're easy to throw into your bag, or in my case, I just attach them to my vest. One of the big things that I probably should have mentioned first is that you guys should probably be getting your hands on one of these. This is the surveillance headset. You can pick one up from BC Packs, or you can pick one up for any company that sells surveillance headsets, mainly to the police or the security. But you can get these from, like I said, the BC Packs website. This basically allows us to hear conversations when we plug us into the radio and have our hands free. It also allows for us to maintain silence. If you don't have one, and if you have an open walkie, most likely you'll be put into a lockup where it's far enough away that they won't hear the radio. If you want to have more on-set film work, get one of these. Mine ran about $60, so prices range. You can get some that are about $100. It's all a matter of quality, functionality, what you want. Some plug into your phone as well. Some plug into another communication pack as well as a standard radio. So it's different. And if you don't have one of these, and if you don't have the money to get one of these things, just a tip: the iPhone headphones, they do work. The only thing is that if you, like most people, listen with your right ear, that is not the case when you plug it into the walkies. It's actually your left ear that allows you to hear communication in mono. So if you have a pair of headphones laying around, it doesn't have to be Apple. You can use these, but check both ears. Apple headphones for sure are left-eared. I have yet to test the other ones because I don't use any other ones, unfortunately. Away from the headsets, we go into pens. Like I mentioned on my vest, I carry a wide range of pens, and it's been funny because the few times that, or should I say the number of times that I've been asked for pens, I've actually had crew members come up to me and ask me about this. But I carry all three standard colored pens. I carry your black pen, your blue pen. Yes, they're both black looking. but the ink is different. And I also carry a red pen. This is my Halloween pen. This is the one that usually is my conversation starter because I've had crew members come up to me and is like, "Is that what I think it is?" Why, yes. No, no, no. It's a pen. Don't worry about it. Because you never know when someone will need a pen color of whatever ink. Not only do I carry standard ballpoint pens, I also carry 2 Sharpies as well. I carry a chiseled tip Sharpie, basically, so it'll allow for quick filling in if I need to make signs. And I always get the big pens. And then I also have a jumbo size regular Sharpie. Again, for jumbo, the bigger size pens, more ink, so less likely to run out. Just make sure that you keep an eye on your pens, and if there is a malfunction with the pens, then you have spares. And that's another thing to carry in your bag. Make sure you carry spares of the pens. Carry a pack of ballpoint pens because, believe it or not, there will be people that will have lost their pens or the pens suddenly stop working, and they'll ask, "Hey, do you have a pen?" Whip out a pen, hand it to them. If it's a ballpoint, one of those big ones, just say, "Here, take it and go," and you can keep the pen. I carry my 2 pens with me that I tend to keep and use a lot on me, but I do let people use those because they're usually standing right there and they just need to write down something quick. There have been times where people have asked, "Hey, do you have a pen that I can use for the rest of the day?" In which case, I'll give them one of the big pens. Another thing that you guys should carry alongside pens is these things. I carry a number of these things. These are just standard flip notebooks. The difference between mine that I use Right in the Rain because the city that I work in tends to rain the majority of the year. So when I write down notes and I want to review my notes later, I want to make sure that they're legible later on. So Right in the Rain is good, waterproof, and useful. The other thing that I tend to carry with me as well, especially if I'm inside, is I'll carry little notebooks like these. These fit really well in my vest, and these fit into your back pocket or your jacket pocket or wherever. They're small. They're not big. Always take notes. Always write down questions. Write down information. Write down your tasks for the day. These things are useful to you, but they also show crew members, especially the older locations people, that, hey, you're serious. You're really good about this. Because that's what you want. You kind of want to be noticed and be like, hey, that's a rock star PA. That's a good one. Let's keep her or keep them. Yeah. Another thing to throw into your bag, make sure that you carry a number of these. And this is not product placement on any level. I'm not endorsed to do any of this. But instead of your standard water bottles that you can carry around, get these collapsible ones. One, because you can roll them up after you're done using them, and it saves space in your bag, but also because it's environmentally friendly. The more that you reuse, the better it is for us, and the less that we have to throw away. So always carry a water bottle or 2 or 3, especially the collapsible ones. The next thing to have with you is a lot of times you might be working on a TV show or a movie that shoots at night. And one of the big things to have is one of these, a flashlight. When you get a flashlight, make sure that it's a decent powered one. Don't get anything below 50 or 75 lumens. It's just not bright enough to see anything. Because you might be in a position where you're working in the forest and you have to make your way back and there's no real light. Make sure you have a flashlight that's bright enough to see any and all dangers where you're walking. Because you don't want to be walking and then you hit a rock and then you trip and you fall and you hurt yourself, or you trip over a root, or you run into some cables because the cables blend in with the dirt and the darkness. So make sure you get a good powered flashlight. If you don't get a flashlight, but you need some sort of light, get a decent headlamp too. Most camping stores will have decent powered headlamps that you can wear and keeps you hands free. I just have this because I can actually attach this to the shoulder of my vest and I can use it as a spot and keep my hands free just as well as having a headlamp. And the thing about the flashlights though is that these tactical flashlights that people buy, you can actually buy a traffic wand attachment to put onto the top of this thing and turn this into a traffic wand. You don't have to spend money on getting TCP traffic wand. You can have one already ready to go. It's just an attachment. You pop it on, you pop it off. That's it. It's a great little tool. Another thing for you guys to have and keep with you, and this will save butts later on, because I know it saved mine and a couple other crew members, is get a Leatherman or just a multi-tool in general. Just make sure it's a decent quality one. Make sure it'll last and it won't break down on you, because you will find that some crew member will ask you, hey, does anyone have a multi-tool? Does anyone have a pair of pliers or a screwdriver or something? And you whip this thing out of your pocket or your bag or your little waist thing and you hand it to them, you're good to go, because that means they don't have to run off to find the tool in their truck and then run back, and time gets wasted because you only have a certain length of time to shoot sometimes. So multi-tool is always good, and make sure you carry the spare bit heads too for this thing in your pocket or your bag. Another thing to carry with you, and I've been recently asked this by actually a couple of stunt guys. They didn't have a knife. They actually forgot their knife, I guess, somewhere else, and they need to cut some foam for one of the stunt things that they were doing. And the first thing that came out, stunt guy was running over. He's like, "Hey, do you have a knife? You got a knife? I gotta cut some quick." I pulled out the knife. It's just a little folder. And he took off with it, and he came back. He's like, "Thank you, you were a lifesaver." Make sure you carry one of these things. These things are useful. You can cut cardboard when you're doing prep. You can cut bubble wrap. Just make sure that you keep up on the sharpness of these things, so that way they're useful to not just yourself, but to everybody else that ends up borrowing and using this. As a side thing, there are PAs, however, that do carry these. The only thing is that you can't conceal them like you can with a folder knife, and it's a legality reason. You will find some people on crews that will carry fixed blades. Make sure it's not too big. Don't carry a Bowie knife. Just carry something that's small, compact, and useful. In which case, again, not another product placement, but it is what I use. It's a fixed blade, it's small, and it fits on my vest or it fits on my waist, and that's it. Just don't try to conceal it, because there are legality problems with that. When I mention all this as a PA kit, this is kind of like an extended basic PA kit. Make sure that this is something that you can fit into your bag, something that you can carry with you, because you want to be able to carry your tools with you. You have to carry your tools with you, and that's what will make you, I guess, approached and needed when someone pops up and say, "Hey, does somebody have this?" And you'd be like, "Yes, I've got it here." Or an example that I had on a recent movie, I had an ADS. Does anyone have a toothpick? And lo and behold, I had a toothpick in my PA kit. And he ended up asking me later, "Hey, do you have this, this, and this?" And I'm like, "Yes." And these are things that you would not find normally on somebody. Not a lot of people carry toothpicks. Not a lot of people carry emergency or cough drops unless they're going through a cold already. Um, but yeah, that's what a basic PA kit should be, and what you should carry with you. What I'm going to show you next is basically an extension of my own PA kit, or the extension of the extended basic PA kit, which PAs should carry. Because I came from theater, and as a stage manager, we're supposed to have our own kit. And usually, when you look at TADs, they have a nice big rolling box of stuff, radios, papers, pens, etc. Stage managers are the exact same way, and I've taken that principle from my own personal stage management experience, and I brought that to film. So I actually bring a little bit more. A thing to bring with you, and a lot of people will kind of laugh about it, and it's actually not a real big laughing matter, is that there are a lot of smokers. And you'll always find someone that is asking for a light. Carry a handful of these. Believe it or not, this will probably make a smoker's life very happy. I don't smoke, I just carry a lighter. It's being prepared, it's being able to offer somebody something. Carry a length of rope or two. This is my braided rope section that I bring with me. And I tie it to my bag. This thing has actually been useful so many different times that it's just nice to have. The example I'm going to use is we need to rig up a cover for crafting. We didn't have a spare tent, so we basically tied points on the tarp to points on the vehicle, and then spread it out, and had enough of this to go around to be able to do that. Rope is handy. Rubber bands have been handy. The small things that you wouldn't think to keep on you or have in your bag have been handy, and they've been used. Everything that I have in my kit has been used, not by myself sometimes, but by other crew members in other departments, because they're like, we need this. Does somebody have it? There have been times where something has gone wrong wardrobe functionally on yourself, not on actors, but on yourself, i.e. splitting the seam of your pants. If you know how to sew, throw a small sewing kit into your bag. You will thank yourself later for it. Personal experience, trust me. Duct tape doesn't always fix everything. Another thing to carry in your bag that I carry with me is a small overnight kit. You'll find yourself in situations sometimes where you need to crash at somebody's place because you need to be at the set again at a really, really early morning. You're not able to travel back to your house because you may live 3-4 hours away. You travel 3-4 hours in order to get to work. So having a small overnight kit with toothbrush, toothpaste, small travel size deodorant, or bar soap, a small travel size shampoo for the guys, pair of socks, underwear for the women, spare bra, underwear, feminine hygiene products if you need it, another pair of socks. Just throw it in here in a small little kit and you're good to go. Just put that in your bag. Another thing that I bring with me is, and it's not mandatory, but it's nice to have, it's a first aid kit. Mine has been used so many different times that it's made people appreciate that sometimes they're not able to get to, first aid for a band-aid, or they, does somebody have this or that? I mean, I have hand sanitizer in here. I've got band-aids. I've got pretty much anything and everything. One, because it's something just that I found myself needing, and I have used this a lot. especially for post-injury stuff. So it's just always nice to have a first aid kit in general. Make sure you just keep it stocked up. Make sure that you keep aware of if you leave any, Advil, Tylenol, or stuff, and then make sure none of it gets expired. But yeah, it's just carry a small one. Or an even smaller one. I've got a small one that's about me big, and that's it. It's just got a couple band-aids, a small roll of gauze, a couple Advil tablets, and that's pretty much about it. But that's something for yourself, right? But again, it is useful to have. Other things that I tend to bring with me, and I think this should also be part of the PA basic kit, is a power bank. We live our lives off of phones, and there's nothing that can be helped about it. We answer emails through it, we get our schedules through it, we get our call sheets through it. Sometimes if we don't have a radio, that's how we communicate with other members of the crew to figure out what's going on. And it's also nice to have one or two of these things, because you may never know when you have someone from hair and makeup or from props and you're standing nearby for a couple hours and they're like, shit, my phone is dying, does anyone have a battery bank? I need to quickly throw this on and charge it. I'm like, yes I do. I carry an Android cable or a micro USB cable for Androids, or any phone that uses the micro USB end, as well as an iPhone 6 and 7 charge cable. I also do carry the old iPhone 4 charge cable as well. So, like I said, being prepared pays, because you never know when someone may need it. That is it for the extended basic. And that's actually what I carry. I throw this stuff onto my vest. I shove it in my pockets so that if I don't need to go to my bag, and I know that my bag will be safe in a location that's gonna be watched by either somebody that's in the truck, like I can tie it into the truck, I leave it in someone's vehicle. I don't have to worry because I have everything on me. Now, what changes for a PA kit is during the summer months and the seasonal changes, so fall, winter, and very early spring as well. During the summer, make sure that you put a bottle of sunscreen into your PA kit. Make sure you bring a bottle of bug spray, because you never know when you're going to be filming up in the mountains. Again, it's dependent on the production, so make sure you check where you're going to be filming for the day, and you pack accordingly. During the summer, make sure you bring spare water bottles as well. You can either leave them empty and then fill them up when you get to set, or you can have them filled up prior to going to set. Just make sure that you keep yourself hydrated during the summer. Make sure you keep yourself cool. And that's the great thing about these particular scarves as well, that I'm currently wearing, is that they're lightweight. You can use this and make this into headwear. You can soak it in cold water. If you have a good breeze after you rain out and you put it on your neck, it'll help keep you cool and keep your body temperature down so you don't overheat and you don't get sick. Make sure you bring a hat during the summer. I go through so many different hats. I go through my ball caps depending on how I'm feeling for the day, but the majority of the time during the summer I wear my little straw fedora. It's happy, it's lightweight, keeps me cool, and it works for the majority of the outfits that I wear. And that's during the summer and the hot months. I'll go into clothing later. I'll do a separate video on that. But these are things that you can fit into your bag and into your PA kit during the fall, winter, early spring. Anytime during the wet, rainy months that you're filming, throw a toque into your bag. Throw warm gloves into your bag. Throw liners into your bag. Bring heat packs. because heat packs are useful in so many different ways. One, it keeps your temperature, your hands, it keeps your hands warm, it keeps your body temperature up. And if you get the big ones, they're easy enough to shove in your pockets of your jacket, your pants. If you're wearing a fitted vest, you can, throw it in between and keep yourself warm that way. Or if you don't need them and somebody else does, crack one open and give it to someone that needs it to stay warm, that needs their hands to be warm, or would like their hands to be warm. Help others. That's what we are there for as PAs, to help others. Not just to help ourselves, but help others. Another thing to throw into your bag, throw in a bunch of plastic baggies. It can be Ziplocs for your phone, Ziplocs for the phone cables and charge equipment, for paperwork, important documents. You can throw in larger bags for your clothes. If your initial clothes get wet and you have a second set of clothes, you can use that to hold your wet clothes in your bag, so you don't have to have fear of those wet clothes soaking through everything. You can even use a garbage bag as a makeshift bag cover if you don't have one. Just keep some in your bag. Because again, you never know when you might need them, or when you have an unexpected downpour. A PA kit is what you make of it. A PA kit is what you need and what you think will help others as well as yourself. So don't limit what I have shown you. Use what you think that you are going to need. And that is all that I can basically say. If I have missed items in the PA kit, please comment in the video below. Hit me up on Facebook. Let me know if I've missed something, and I'll add that into another possible video later on, or I may write out a list and throw it up onto the description down below. And yeah, the next video will be on what to wear and what not to wear. Because believe it or not, there have been people that have shown up on set that they've worn heels, they wore clothing that was entirely inappropriate. So we're gonna go through what is good to wear, what's not good to wear. And this is not, anything bad. It's just it should be mentioned. Anyways, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Comment, like, subscribe, and yeah, have yourselves a good one. Bye!